In the previous video, you learned why certain instruments are transposing instruments and how to work out the interval of transposition for instruments in any key. Ensure that you have completed the exercises on pages 98 and 99 of the accompanying workbook before you move on to this next step. In this video, I will take you through the steps you should follow to successfully write music in the correct key for transposing instruments. Before we begin, I need to highlight a very important point. Here we have two questions that are asking you to transpose for clarinet in B flat. If we take a closer look at the questions though, you will see that they are asking for very different things. Question 1 reads, write out the notes that a clarinet in B flat player would need to read to produce this passage, while question 2 reads, this passage is written for clarinet in B flat. What notes will be heard when it is played? Question 1 is asking you to take a passage that is in concert or sounding pitch and write it in the correct transposition for the clarinetist to read, while question 2 is asking you to take a piece of music written for clarinet in B flat and write out the concert pitch notes that would sound when it is played. In the previous video, we worked out that a clarinet in B flat sounds a major second lower than written and is written a major second higher than it sounds. So in question 1, we would need to take the passage up a major second, but in question 2, we would need to take the passage down a major second. As you will see from the steps I'm about to teach you, a fair amount of work goes into taking a passage up or down a certain interval. It is essential before you start that you read the question very carefully and ensure that you know whether it is asking you to go from the written pitch to the sounding pitch or from the sounding pitch to the written pitch. Don't waste time and effort transposing music in the wrong direction. Let's look at another example and work through the steps needed to transpose for any given instrument. This question reads, this passage is written for cor anglais in F. How will it sound? After completing the work on pages 98 and 99 of your workbook, you will know that horns, whether they're French or English, sound a perfect fifth lower than written and are written a perfect fifth higher than they sound. As I highlighted earlier in this video, the first and most important step you must take is working out whether you are transposing from sounding to written pitch or from written to sounding pitch. So let's reread this question and see which direction we need to move. So, this question says that the given passage is written for cor anglais, so I'm going to place a W for written next to this given passage. Then the question goes on to ask, how will the music sound? So I'll write an S next to the stave I'm going to write my answer on. Now we know that we need to move from the written to the sounding pitch, and from our working out that we would have done on a rough piece of paper, we can see that the horns in F sound a perfect fifth lower than written. So I'm going to place a little reminder for myself here that I need to transpose this passage down a perfect fifth. All of these little bits that I've added in purple are really essential. Underline the keywords in your questions, put a W and an S next to the appropriate staves, write in a little reminder about the distance and direction of transposition. All of these little helpers will set you up for success in this type of higher order thinking question. So, once we've got over the first major hurdle, we need to look at the key of our music, because in addition to transposing the notes down a perfect fifth, we will also need to transpose the key signature. The given passage is written in D major. If we take the note D down a perfect fifth, we will land on the note G, so I will write in the key signature for G major. It's important to copy all of the details from the given passage across to your answer, so I'll put the 4/4 time signature on my answer stave. Next, I will take each note down a fifth. You can sit and meticulously work out that each note is a perfect fifth lower than the given passage, but if you worked out the key signature correctly, the only notes that should need accidentals in your answer are those that have accidentals in the given passage. So, in order to successfully transpose a given passage for a transposing instrument, you will need to follow these steps. Read and unpack the question, underlining key words. Label the staves with words or symbols for written and sounding. Use the writer C sounds the key rhyme to work out the interval of transposition. Write out the distance and direction of transposition. Identify the key of the given passage. Transpose the tonic note of the key by the distance and direction you worked out. Write in the new key signature. Copy the given time signature and any other signs and symbols onto the answer stave. Transpose all notes by the distance and direction you worked out. Double check your work by ensuring that the only notes with accidentals in your answer are those that had accidentals in the given passage. Practice transposing music for a variety of transposing instruments in your accompanying workbook.